Hey y'all, John aka Whisky and Sound, and I'm back once again with another episode of Boilermaker Mondays. Now, I said last week that I was going to do a different spirit, something that isn't whiskey, something, whilst I was continuing on the Armagnac craze from last week, that I'll keep that theme going and I'll try up a different spirit. So whether I'll go down the lines of a bourbon or something, but I think I shouldn't say bourbon, whether I go like a cognac or an agave spirit or whatever, which we'll be getting back around to. But the colder season has come back, so on that note, I'm going to be probably leaning more towards the more heavier stuff, something with a bit more body in it. So don't be surprised if we see a few more stouts and porters coming out, or barley wines coming back into the equation, which will mean I'm going to be going for the heavier whiskies to go back with them. But I am changing it up a little bit because this beer really makes me want to do that. If you were able to get your hand, actually, this should still be available. So, Wolf of the Willows, the S'mores Man, or the S'mores Man, toasted marshmallow, nitro amber ale. So, on that note, let me pour this bad boy, and whoa, that went everywhere. I really got to get a knack of pouring these nitros properly. That did not go the way that I expected it to, but you know what? Hey, that's the fun with it all. So I wanted to find out a bit more about the S'mores Man and find out what the backstory was with it. So it turns out that s'mores was based on a sandwich back in the 1920s in the States. Now, what it is like I think they're two crisps put together in a sandwich with some toasted marshmallows and half a bar of chocolate. So, sounds rich and very decadent. So, and that drop that I wanted to go into the glass went on the desk instead. That'd be about right. So, now whilst I'm cleaning up my mess, I'll still keep going through that. So, what the guys at the Wolf Willow done, I think it was Scott from Wolf of the Willows that went over to the States and I think had a fixation on the s'mores sandwiches. So he come back, and I think it was last year or the year before, he come out with a Nitro Amber Ale release, and this is V2 from the following year because the first round sold out. Oh yeah, that's very marshmallowy. So the go with this is that they've teamed up with a chocolate mob called Mork Chocolate, I think it is. That's provided them with some dry cacao nibs, and they've put that in the mix with a whole heap of caramelized and toasted marshmallows, lots of those. And then it's been dry hopped as well, from what I can recall. Let me just get my other notes, and then that way I'm not telling fibs. Sorry about that. So it was. Did I get it right? Yes, it did. He added it. Yeah, okay, so dry hopped it with vanilla beans, finished it off with a nitro infusion. That's right. Okay, so that's what he's done with it. So the charcoal crusted toasted marshmallows, which are thrown into the mix and put in the cacao nibs, and then dry hopped it with dry hopped it with the vanilla beans and nitro infusion. So that explains you. The whiskey that I want to put this back with, because there's chocolate and marshmallow that's in here, or the cacao that's in there, is going to be another Whisky and Alement little baby goon bag. I love these things, the juice bags. It is a blended malt, but not just any blended malt. So this is one from Maltbarn, who are an independent bottler. And the one that we have here is called Epitome, which is a 24-year-old sherry cask or sherry matured blended malt. And it has some pretty interesting notes. Now, the ones that they've got written here, jammy Port Royal tobacco. So that already screams to me it's going to be big on the palate. It's going to be robust. So the fact that it's got sherry cask influence, I'm tipping sherry or jammy fruits will work well with the marshmallows and chocolate. So it'll just create like a big dessert, really. And it's probably been the running theme of most of my last handful of Boilermakers that I've been doing is that they're either going to be rich and decadent or very dessert-like one way or another. So I really should have poured this thing out a bit earlier to let it breathe. So because the ABV on this thing is about 53.1%. If you're able to get your hands on a bottle of this, do so, because Maltbarn come up with some pretty epic stuff. One of the standout Maltbarns that I've had in the past is a 27-year-old Irish whiskey. And that today is probably one of my favourite independent bottled Irish whiskies. Probably one of my favourite independent bottlings. Or maybe up there in the top 3, that's for sure. But it's definitely a big bottling. So, right. Now, I know nothing about this, so this is definitely sherry, that's for sure. Yeah, this has got a very big nose, and it's probably one that I should have let this thing air out a lot sooner, because this thing's going to have a story to tell. Right. Oh yeah, definitely. It's got like a mechanical kind of smell to it as well. Oh, I'm picking up camphor. Oh, there we go. Very mentholy. Wow, this is going to be a big whiskey. It's already a big whiskey on the nose, but on the palate, this is going to be big. I can see it. You got some chunky bits in it too. That's cool. Nice. All right. So I'm really looking forward to this pairing. It can go either way here. So if it doesn't work, I've got 2 separate drinks. And there's no harm in that. Seriously, because it's a Monday night. Best thing I ever done was let that thing warm up a bit. Oh, wow. Oh, that is heaps of marshmallow. Heaps of marshmallow. Heaps of chocolate. And the amber spices just come from the back end. That the gingerbread cookies or Anzac biscuits maybe is probably a better one. Yeah, because you definitely get those spices. Oh, I like that. I really like this beer. I'm so glad I've got a few cans of that. That is such a nice beer. And that sits at about the 6.2%. I'm yet to have a beer from Wolf of the Willows that I am disliking. That I dislike. I love all their stuff. Their JSP, the JSPs, there we go again. The JSPs, like the Johnny Smoke Porters, brilliant. Absolutely love them. I tried their I think it's their the Pups IPA, I tried an XPA from them. That was pretty cool. I've tried what was it? I think it was it could have even been hazy IPA. I can't remember what it was, but the Pups release that they've come out with recently, or it could have just been like an ale, like a pale ale of some sort. But either way, that was pretty cool. Very, very approachable, very drinkable. And there was another one as well, which I've tried from them in the past. The Woodsman is a really nice amber ale to drink as well. So, yeah, their beers just absolutely rock. So, yet to have a bad one. Yet to have a bad one. And at the rate that they're going, I don't think I will be having a bad one from them. So, it's a good thing. Okay, let's see how this whiskey goes. Yeah, see, now that's starting to open up a little bit more. Oh, that's a... You would never pick this as a blend on the nose. Wow, that's impressive. That is so impressive. Hmm. That does not palate like a blend at all either. That is, whoa, that is big. That is huge. Wow, that has a lot going on with it. Wow, this has to be one of my favourite tasting blends I've ever come across. That is, oh, I'm going to try to search me a bottle of this. Probably going to be fun and games to try it. This is probably going to be an auction job, but I reckon it's going to be one of those ones that's well worth it. That's... I think this is going to go really well. All right, so the finish is still going on it. Oh, that is... Oh, definitely tobacco. Those dark fruits, like, it's raisins, it's prunes, dates, bit of treacle, which I also picked up on a little bit in the beer as well, slightly. So that's going to really complement well together. I think this is going to work. I was expecting it to be like a bit of a... Oh, who am I kidding? I was hoping for a complimentary Boilermaker. So, and I think that's definitely the direction it's going to go in. But it's going to be robust. It's going to be huge. There's going to be nothing sweet about it in the slightest. So, all right, let's go I'm going to go with a whiskey wash first, and then a beer rinse, and see what happens there. Oh, I cannot get sick of this nose. This is a gorgeous whiskey. Really gorgeous whiskey. Oh, there's almost like an old bottle effect in it too, which I absolutely love. Oh, that is big. All right. Now, let's do a beer rinse and see what happens. That's yum. That's just so yum. Oh, that is so yum. It's got the ABV where that probably kills, like, it's very overpowering on the palate. So whatever, like, it, as big as this is actually like really flattening it out. And I'll get like a handful of jammy notes on the back end, like where the finish is, but there's so much happening with the chocolate and the marshmallow in this thing. And yeah, it's quite a spicy number as well too. Like, going across the palate, it's chocolate, marshmallows, done. Without even thinking too hard about it. And just vanilla cream. But the back end, like the finish on it, becomes spicy, like light spices, very much like a cinnamon sugar, and like that treacle note that I was talking about earlier comes out. So this probably would have gone back as well with a rum. Probably would have put this beer back with. Definitely will go back with the rum, and I've got another beer to test that theory out as well. So I may even, I'll make a comment about that one later too. I think this Boilermaker is probably going to be best at beer wash, whiskey rinse, because this has got the finish that will just comb over the beer. That's going to be my guess anyway. Oh, that is yum. So yum. Yeah, best thing I'd do is just let that beer warm up a little bit. Oh, yes. That was the direction to go. That is the direction to go. Beer wash, whiskey rinse. Mwah, just gorgeous. Oh, the complexity that comes out now with... Actually, this really does make this whiskey pop on the finish. It's once you do the whiskey rinse, the finish just becomes much more intense, much more vibrant, so much more going on as far as like sugars and fruits and creams and chocolate, the marshmallows, everything just, that all blends together beautifully. It's just a happy little marriage. That is just yum. Seriously yum stuff. I am so glad I put these two together. But like I said, this beer as well, it's quite versatile with what it can do. Like, don't be shy to hit this thing with a cask strength whiskey and think that it's going to be too much for this beer. No, far from the truth. It can hold its own weight. That's a good thing about it. It's definitely one that I can sit there and happily pair it back with a big rum. Pardon me, or just any. It could even tame a cask strength Isla, to be honest, easily. I'd say, like, I'd happily. Not actually, you know what? Even this will go well with the Lagavulin 16. I reckon that'd be really nice. That'll probably, actually, yeah, Lagavulin 16 will probably work well with that, to be honest. So, yeah, I'd be curious to try that one out. There's a few things that could go back with. And as far as this whiskey is concerned, the nose on this thing, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The fruits are now starting to open up, so this is going to be a killer dram in the next, say, 10 minutes. It's just going to keep evolving and doing fun stuff. I mean, it's a 24-year-old, high ABV strength blended whiskey, so I can only expect big things from it, especially with the sherry cask influence. So I'm so glad I kept that for a special occasion, like tonight, to share with you all. So thanks for joining us once again for another episode. I'll tell you what, that's definitely one I'm going to be writing home about. But yeah, if you happen to stumble across this beer, which, like I said, there's plenty in stock at Wolf of the Willows at the moment. So if you can get your hands on some, let me know what whiskies that you pair it back with, or just any spirit that you pair it back with. Like, if you're wanting to try maybe, putting it back with a cognac or maybe a mezcal or something, whatever, let me know. I'll be very curious to hear what your opinions are. So definitely open for suggestions. I am one that's willing to try new experiments. So any feedback that you have or any suggestions, keep them coming through. So thank everyone for for your current support, and please, for those that are just watching the channel for the first time tonight, like, share, subscribe, support. And on that note, I'm going to leave you all to it, and I'm going to enjoy this lovely Boilermaker pairing over the course of the evening. So I'll catch you all next week, and I'll be looking at doing another pairing, whatever it's going to be. Whether it's another whiskey or whatever I get my hands on. Depends what gets into my hand first. And it doesn't help with the lockdown situation that Melbourne has seemed to have gotten itself back into again, so which is very frustrating. But you work with what you got. So at the moment, these are the things that I have. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll catch you all next week for another episode.